令枪响了，选手们如潮水一样涌过起点。
怡宝为70余支国家运动队提供安全纯净的饮用水服务，更陪伴生活每刻。怡宝，中国国家队官方饮用水。
拼，坚持向上，敢闯，抵达梦想，勇敢去尝试，去付出，去突破。我们有勇气，因为我们有底气。中国人民保险，
中国人保让温暖常驻您的心间。
Didn't think I'd come this far. Ooh, I think I see the
卡萨帝光年套系。
新装组装法，全能超进化，一汽丰田。
发令枪响了，选手们如潮水一样涌过起点。发令枪响了，选手们如潮水一样涌过起点。发令枪响了，选手们如潮水一样涌过起点。
怡宝为70余支国家运动队提供安全纯净的饮用水服务，更陪伴生活每刻。怡宝，中国国家队官方饮用水。
枪响了，选手们如潮水一样涌过起点。
怡宝为70余支国家运动队提供安全纯净的饮用水服务，更陪伴生活每刻。怡宝，中国国家队官方饮用水。
敢拼，坚持向上，敢闯，抵达梦想，勇敢去尝试，去付出，去突破。我们有勇气，因为我们有底气。中国人民保险，
中国人保让温暖常驻您的心间。
一台了然于心的跑步文化，马拉松赛事是我们周末共聚的盛会。而跑步运动才是我们变成日常的行为习惯。那我也希望更多的跑者，甚至更多的兰州的各位观众朋友们，能够在兰马赛场感受跑步，感受马拉松，领略运动文化，做一位健康的中国人。那么现在的时间，有请我们的热身教练为我们带来精彩的热身环节。让我们一起跟随音乐的节奏，一起动起来吧！
慢速开，慢速开。
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Bank of Lanzhou Cup Lanzhou Marathon 2023. And this is Bao Shanshan. It's very early in the morning, 7:13, and we'll have 17 minutes before we start the race. And now we can see there are people performing there in the traditional Lanzhou dance. The dance of the umbrella. And I'm going to walk you through this lovely 3-4 hours with you today. It's good to be here. So, as we can see, the people are gathering at the starting point. And we've got different zones of people. Let me tell you something about a Lanzhou Marathon. It's one of the top 5 in China and the first ever to have an international signal. That's where I fit in. And it's a double gold standard event. So we have, it's both the World Athletics Gold Label and China Athletics Association Gold Medal, which means the prize money is very decent. And we can see people waving and warming up. I'd love to see that. I really enjoyed seeing that. And this event has been going on for 10 years, and the first marathon starts in 2011. And even in 2020, it hasn't stopped the Lanzhou Marathon. Somehow they find a way to do the marathon online. The people can run in their homes, they choose their route, and they do the countdown, they do the counting of the time, and they upload to the internet. And that's how they do it. So it's been 4 years, which is exactly 1,470 days since the last running event. That's in 2019, and I think it's the 2nd of June, just near this time. So today is the 11th of June, and we've got 15 minutes before we start. Oh, and there are people there doing Tai Chi. Lovely. So the Lanzhou Marathon is also one of the series marathon events of the Yellow River. We've got 4 stops, which is Ningxia, Lanzhou, Huanghekou, Dongying, and Zhengzhou. So we just finished the Ningxia Marathon on the 16th of April, and we've got Huanghekou Marathon expected to be on the 22nd of October, and Zhengzhou Marathon on the 29th of October. This is a bird view of the Yellow River. As you can see, it's a beautiful city surrounded by different kinds of mountains, and there is Yellow River flow through it, which is really nice. And for Lanzhou, it is in the west of the lowest plateau and connecting the plateau of Tibet and the Inner Mongolia. So this particular course of the river runs much slower than the other courses. So it has nurtured this long basin, this lovely city of Lanzhou. And I've always loved a city with waters nearby. It just brings so much life to the city, and the water is usually very generous because they provide people with food, with transportations, and so on. And that's the Bank of Lanzhou, because today is the Bank of Lanzhou Cup. Yeah, and as for the river, the Yellow River, it's very rare and precious, especially in a dry province in Gansu, like Gansu. We are not exaggerating when we say that the Yellow River is our mother river. So ever since Han Dynasty, Lanzhou has always been the pumping heart of the northwest of China, and the city was born and has grown and thrived because of the river. So because of the areas the Yellow River runs through, this is a very interesting fact, is that the color of the river is yellow. That's where it got its name. And because it runs through different places, dry places like lowest plateau, and so it carries much of the sand and dust with it. And when it flows through, it appears to be yellowish, very dusty. But in 2019, President Xi Jinping attached great importance when he paid a visit to Gansu to the protection of the Yellow River. And last year, the 13th National Congress, People's Congress, passed the law on the Yellow River conservation, and that takes effect on the 1st of April this year. So I've loved the idea of running and singing with the Yellow River. So it spread the idea, as we do the marathon, of environmental protection of the Yellow River, to bring awareness that the people's protection of the ecology is very, very important. And it's very exciting to see that the whole city has, you know, exerted all their efforts to support this marathon. Because along the way we can see there are volunteers and there are different stations, and we remove the roadblocks. It's very impressive. So this year we've got, you've got to register online, and we draw the lots to pick up who can attend this event. We've got 40,000 runners today, which is impressive, from 17 countries, especially from the South Africa, Ethiopia, Kenya, Malaysia, America, France, Britain, Germany, Canada, Spain, lots of people, and also people from the 34 provinces of China. That's a lot. And for the marathon, we've got 15,000 people on the run, and 12,000 people for the half marathon, and for health and family run, we've got 13,000 people. And we've got 21 athletes by invitation from Kenya and Ethiopia, including 6 male gold label and 6 female gold label. That's very good. Yes, we can see the people. Oh, there's a huge crowd over there at the starting point. So the schedule, let's take a look at the schedule here. So 7:15, we have walked past that because it's 7:20 right now. So the bag deposit service and the check-in has closed, and the race will start in 10 minutes. And the door closes for the half marathon at 10:45. 11:30, the door closes for back collection at half marathon finish point. And 13:40, the door closes for the marathon. And 15 o'clock, the door closes for back collection at marathon finishing point. So for the checking, the athletes, they wear the number bib on the chest. And so the letters, when you look at the letters, the black ones are for male, the red ones for female. And A to K means different start zones. The elite athletes, they have only numbers, but for the others, we have from A to D, that's marathon, and E to G, that's half marathon, H and J, that's house run, and K for family run. And so the color of the number bib, the full marathon, we've got the white number bib, and yellow as half, blue as health, and green as family. I can see the elite athletes are going towards the starting point. And all the function facilities is extremely important and essential, starting from 5 kilometers. We got the medical station, water station, toilets. The first one starts as 5 kilometers, and every 2.5 kilometers we've got one for the beverage station. The beverage station is extremely important here in the Lanzhou Marathon because of the weather. We'll get to that later. And so we've got that every 5 kilometers. And for the refreshment station, we've got the first one at 17.5 kilometers and got one every 5 kilometers till the 27.5 kilometers, and every 2.5 kilometers from there till 37.5 kilometers, the last one. And the sponge station, we've got the first one at 7.5 kilometers, and every 5 kilometers we've got one sponge station. Yeah. And a little bit of weather report. So today is basically very cloudy. From 7 o'clock to 14 o'clock, we've got cloudy, and sometimes we've got the sunny, half and half, I think. And the temperature will rise from 20 degrees centigrade to 30 degrees centigrade. And we've got the wind speed from 1 to 3 meters per second. That's not bad at all. And the humidity, we need to watch over that because it has a rapid decrease from 20% to from 50% to 20%.
兰州银行杯2023兰州马拉松开赛仪式现在开始，有请中共兰州市委副书记。
Okay, that's the scene of the starting ceremony of this whole event. And welcome back. So from 7 to 9, we've got temperature rise from 20 to 25. That's a huge gap. And from the humidity, we'll be from 50 to 40. And the wind blows from the west. So for the first half of the marathon, you'll be running with the tailwind, which is an advantage actually. And the UV rays will rise from level 1 to level 2. And we've got a little bit problem at 10 o'clock because we have the weather of cloudy and sunny half and half. And the temperature will rise to 27 degrees centigrade. And the humidity will drop to 35%. And the wind speed is 2 meters per second, and we've got the UV rays at level 3. And that might be a problem because at that point, most of the runners should be on the north bank of the Yellow River, which means that you'll be running against the wind. And as the temperature rises, the sensible temperature will also rise because of the sun rays. So basically, it's not bad, a suitable weather for the marathon, and it's good for the start, good for starting the race, and also for the first half of the race. But it might cause you a little trouble if you're not that experienced. For the latter half will be difficult. The temperature rises, the humidity drops, and you'll be running against the wind. And that's when you'll be likely to hit the wall. And that's the Chinese national anthem. That's the crowd cheering.
现在我们即将迎来比赛发令的精彩时刻了。
We've got 3 minutes, and so in competitions under the paragraph 1.1, 1.2.5, and 0.9 of the international competition definition, the commands of the starter shall be given in English only. So instead of hearing 预备跑, we'll have the on your mark and the starting gun. So let's wait for that.
为此，组委会真诚地希望各位选手保持平稳的心态，保持自己的节奏。
And for the marathon, the route, we'll talk about that later, it's a loop, because we start and finishes at the same point at Lanzhou Olympic Sports Center on the Mid-Alti Road. And for the half marathon, it's an out and back. We start at the Lanzhou Olympic Sports Center on Mid-Alti Road and finishes slightly northwest on the midsection of West Alti Road. And for health and family run, we've got a point-to-point route. We've got the same start and we finish at the east section of the South Martin Road. So for the marathon, we've got a good 42.195 kilometers, and for a half marathon, of course, you already know that, it's 21.0975 kilometers. And we shall be hearing the gun any second from now. Let's wait for that.
所谓新征程，是蓝马阔别归来的再次出发。蓝马是黄河文化的传承与弘扬，蓝马是参赛选手的激情与活力，蓝马是全城百姓的热忱与狂欢。东南西北一起跑，万马奔腾，新征程。让我们在碧水和蓝天之间，共同开启这一段蓝马征程吧。 请发令嘉宾举枪。
The starting gun.
On your marks.
On your marks. And that's the starting gun. Wow, I've always loved to see this. Oh, we've already got that a lovely group, the starting group. It's a good one. It's lovely to see people with such passionate faces, and most people, oh, they're cheering. That's good. That's very optimistic, and I think they're well prepared because most people we see on the screen they have, where they've got the sunglasses on and they've got the visors, which is really good. They're waving towards the camera. Look how happy they are. And the crowds beside the road has been building up, and they're all on their phone recording this marvelous event. of 40,000 running together, and they're cheering also. Okay, it's lovely. Yes, I think it might be the good time to take a look at the records here. The meeting record for marathon for male is 2:10:10. That's made by an Ethiopian called Bayene Ayel Wujioji in 2015. That's a massive crowd. And for the female, the meeting record is 2:30:20 seconds by Borknesh Edessa Gumesa, also from Ethiopia, in 2019. Wow, that's a lovely crowd. So we've got pacers, but we can't see them right now. They will be in purple shirts. And the people on the stage are waving towards them to wish them good luck. There are people shouting over there. Okay, they're really excited about the race, just as I am. And let's go back to the weather, because the sensible temperature will be rising as well. They were wearing costumes to run, which is good, with flags. And so most of the trip, if you're an elite athletes, the humidity will be very comfortable, because from 30% to 60% you will get very comfortable in the run, but when the time reaches like 10 o'clock, we will have the humidity drop to nearly 30%, and that's a lie, because if the humidity drops below 30%, you will be likely to feel thirsty in your mouth and your whole body, and you might, along the way you might experience some dehydration. And so it's really important to get hydrated along the way. So I suggest from my, that's a lovely view of the whole Olympic Sports Centre. Yeah, you start drinking from the first water station, and with small sips of water, don't just pour it down your throat. And the suitable amount of drinking is 120 to 150 milliliters, and you don't drink too much, because if you do, you can't get hydrated properly, and you will increase the pressure on your stomach. So for the starting point, we are starting at the lovely Lanzhou Olympic Sports Center, and it is the biggest, best equipped, multifunctional and smartest sports center. Also the first A-level sports center capable of hosting international sports events in Gansu. And there are 5 main stadiums and centers built and named after 5 different types of flowers. So we've got the rose, which is a big golden one, as you can see. That rose is the city flower of Lanzhou. That is an arena for track and field, football and baseball, and so on. And we also got the tulip on the right side. It's a complex for basketball and winter sports. And lily for water sports, lotus, a tennis court, and an orchid. A bit of everything. That's a complex. So along with outdoor fitness and athletes flags. So the Rose Arena, it's the biggest. It has the construction of 80,400 square meters. And the whole idea is to build a sports center that is like flowers dancing on the Silk Road. When you see these facilities high up, it looks like a belt, the Yellow River, or the ribbons from the sky. They're very excited about race. As you can see, they're jumping, they're waving towards the camera, and they're saying hi. That's the passion of the Lanzhou people. Because from my days of being here, they are very passionate people, to be honest. As you can see in their, you know, in their driving, in their cooking, in their way of life. So when they start from the starting point, there will be a vector of nearly 90 degrees right at the start, and another turn of right before 1 kilometers, and at 2 kilometers we'll see the Ferris wheel on the right side of the road. You can't see it right now because the camera is still pointing at the starting point, but we will be seeing the very first tourist attraction, the Yellow River Mansion, from 2 to 3 kilometers. Let's wait for something like that. So I think it's very important to know that actually here in Lanzhou the altitude belongs to the category of subplateau to plateau, because the average altitude of Lanzhou is 1,500 kilometers, and because of that we've got a little bit bumpy route, and we've got little uphills and downhills, and also you need to cross the river on the bridge, which is huge uphill and a huge downhill, and the subplateau to plateau also means that you've got thin air and the oxygen uptake is a little bit low. Yeah, and that's a bird view of the Lanzhou Olympic Center, which is impressive. Yeah, you can see the turn right there. It's a 90-degree turning left. That's a huge crowd. Yeah, let's get back to the altitude. And because of the altitude here, you've got thin air, you've got low oxygen uptake, and so when your blood is not carrying enough oxygen, you will be there will be a lot of fatigue over there, and you might hit the wall earlier, and it might last longer than usual. So also for this altitude, we've got strong, nearly harsh UV rays. I've experienced myself these days because I've got a little bit ugly sunburn on my shoulders just yesterday. And so because of the UV rays, the sun rays, the sensible temperature is unlikely to drop as usual. And yes, you'll still have the evaporation of the sweat, but you're also getting so much heat from the sun rays. And that's the beautiful, as you can see, the beautiful view from up, like a bird view of the Yellow River. And you can see that there are boats on it, and there are trees, shades all along the way. It hasn't been like this for a while, but after the discussion and all the attention you bring to the Yellow River. Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's move on to the route of the marathon. We start and finish at the Lanzhou Olympic Sports Center and meet Alti Road. We make a turn over there. We can see the Intan Bridge, and nearly 5 kilometers. And we will be running west to east along the south bank of the Yellow River. And from Shilihe Bridge, that's where we got the split from half marathon and marathon. The marathon continues to the 10 kilometers, and when we reach the Xiaoxihu Bridge, and along there you will be seeing the Zhongshan Bridge, which is really famous, and the 15 kilometers right there we've got. And when we reach the Jingyan Bridge, and we were going across it, and we were going back through the north bank. And as we go along the way, we'll see a lot of different tourist attractions at 20 kilometers back Baitashan Park, also the gate of the Golden City, the Jinchengguan. And as we are going alongside the north bank, we've got 25 kilometers right there, and we'll go along the north road. And when we reaches the Ingtan Bridge, we will go a little bit further to the Ingtan Bridge and till the Shenan Bridge. And we'll make a U-turn, and we will go a little bit further east to cross the Ingtan Bridge. Yes, that's a U-turn right there. And when we cross the Ingtan Bridge, and we will turn right and running back to where it starts, the Lanzhou Olympic Sports Center. Yeah, that's our finishing point. That's a loop, obviously. Yeah, and that's the route of the Lanzhou Marathon 2023. So, finally, we can see the elite group over there. And a group... It's a good group of 17 or something. And now it's a huge group. But we are likely to see a split somewhere along the road. And as the bird view camera pushing in, we can see the Yellow River Mansion. And this is a new famous tourist spot just on the right side of the screen, and where, you know, the internet influencers would love to come here and to picture and to take pictures and such. So it's next to the old street, Laojie, and the architecture resembles that of the Han and Tang dynasty, and it's 93.39 meters, and it has 16 floors, and it has the main building at the style of a pagoda, as you can see that. So when you climb up the pagoda, you will be seeing the beautiful river view, and you have the bird view of the river has to offer. Yes, we've got both the elite group, the first group, and also the huge crowd over there wearing orange shirts. So we got pacers at the top, right there. Number 9, Mike Kip Corio Chematops. We need some close up to see who's in the lead group. But they're running very optimistically, and they're very confident. I really love the color of their shoes matching their shirts. It's great. Just great to watch. So we got 3 or 4 or 5 pacers at the same group. They're running very confidently and very strongly. And I suggest they conserve their elite athletes. Of course, they don't need me to suggest that, but for the marathon in Lanzhou, I do suggest that you conserve your energy. It's all about conserve your energy at the first half and then use it, because you're going to use it on the latter half of the run. Let me tell you a little bit of history here of the Lanzhou city. So it has a long history of 2,200 years or more. So because the Yellow River, it used to be a very, very strong current over the the first 1/3 of the river, and when it reaches Lanzhou, it actually slows down. That's exactly why General Li Xi from the Han Dynasty chose this place to cross the Yellow River and build the city of Jincheng, the Golden City, the city of gold. A city that is built by metals and guarded with boiled water that's solid and sturdy. That's what it wishes for Lanzhou. And General Li Xi bore the task and also the great ambition of the Emperor Wu Di, Liu Che, of building the Hexi Corridor, and it is to provide a safe and well-supplied business route to the far west and a barrier against the Xiongnu people. So that's also the Huanghe Mansion from the other side of the road. And wow, it's like an orange ribbon over there with so many people running together. It's great to see. So it is to build a massive military fortress in the city of gold in the Jincheng, Lanzhou. It is not called Lanzhou until very late in the history. It was called the Golden City, and it's the first milestone of the ancient China's plan of exploring the far west. What we can see up close is that the pacer has drawn a little bit gap between the lead group and the pacer. So let's continue with the history. In 121 BC, Wu Di from the Han Dynasty assigned General Huo Qubing to battles against the Xiongnu people out west. And General Huo made the post here in Lanzhou, Jincheng. This was the first record in history of Lanzhou. Back then it was called Jincheng. So in the year of 583 BC, Wu Di from the Wen Di from the Sui dynasty established administration in there and changed the name to Lanzhou. So it has been the military regional headquarters. It's a vital strategic pivot, linking the center of the country with a vast territory in the extreme west. The narrow corridor of Gansu has served for several centuries as a passageway between the upper Huanghe. So in 1907, Mark Stein from England discovered 8 pieces of Sogdian letters. They were the most ancient letters found in that area that dates back to 1700 years ago. They recorded the journey of the Nanadas from Uzbekistan through the Silk Road. As you can see, it is the family run, because we see parents bringing their children on the run, which is really lovely scene. So for the Yellow River, let me tell you something about that. It has the length of 3,395 miles, that's 5,464 kilometers, and is China's second longest river, surpassed only by the Yangtze River, the Changjiang. And the Yellow River originates in the Bayan Ha Mountains, also known as the Bayan Kla Mountains, in the eastern plateau of Tibet, and an elevation above 4,600 meters. That's just down the Yellow Mansion. There are people doing the umbrella dancing. So the Yellow River and its tributaries flow past some of China's oldest cities, including Lanzhou, Baotou, Xi'an, Taiyuan, Luoyang, Zhengzhou, Kaifeng, and Jinan. And Lanzhou is the only provincial capital. Along the way, the river flows right through. So the river is divided into 3 distinct parts: the mountainous upper course, the middle course across the plateau, which starts right here in Lanzhou, and the lower course across a low plain. We've seen 3 very strong paces there: number 9, number 12, and number 10. Number 10 is Albert Chebet. He's from Uganda. And number 9, Mike Kipkoro Chematot. He's from Kenya also. Oh, we've got the first one finishing its target. That might be the health run or the family run. Let's see about that. Yeah, as I can see, the one in blue or green shirt, that's Gru Nagus from Ethiopia, and has its personal best in Barcelona last year. It's 2:05:58. So we've got slightly split over here at the lead group, because as we can see, the number of the lead group has dropped. We've got 3 in the behind. So for now the temperature is okay, but when we are experiencing a temperature rise, you will get a lot of sweat, and the sweat takes away the electrolyte, the micro element, and that might cause you to feel a little bit disorder. So for today, we don't think we've got a very, a good pace. I think normally we would not have this kind of pace, but here in this sub-plateau and with such weather conditions, it's hard for anyone to run to their personal best. So it's for the normal people, for the people just attending this event, it would be good to finish. Let's put it at that. So I think an interesting thing about marathon is that you are not only competing with people. I don't think competing with people is the strongest element in this race. I think it's competing with yourself. It's always about exceeding yourself. It's about reaching your limits, and can you go a little bit further over there? So it's the charm of the marathon sports here. So for the route, I take a look at that. I took a look at that yesterday, but of course I cheated by calling a taxi because I took a ride along the whole route earlier. And the first 17 kilometers, we've got the 17 kilometers point on the Jingyan Bridge, I think. And before that, it's an easy route. It's not an easy route compared to the latter 20 kilometers. So the first half on the south bank, the earth is pretty flat. We've got small, like little uphills and downhills, and it's not obvious. And but on the north bank, it's a completely different story. So it's all about conserve your energy at this part in the first half, and then use it on the latter half. So we can see people taking their water from the water station, and they're still looking very happy over there. Very content with their race. We can see the crowd are cheering themselves up by shouting 加油. That's go, go, go in Chinese. That's a heart. They're saying hi to Lanzhou City. What a beautiful gesture. So I think that Lanzhou, the city that impressed me the most with its, struck me with its inclusiveness and sturdiness. Because we've experienced 3 floods of migrants. It's a migrating city, of course. It's on the 7th of July, 1937, the Marco Polo Bridge incident. We'll come back after that. Yeah, welcome back. And we can see there's a strong lead group over there with a lovely crowd of almost 10 people up there. So back to the Marco Polo Bridge incident. And after that broke out the wall of resistance against Japan. So Lanzhou is among the rearer areas. And people move here to be away from the war. And as we can see, there are water stations, there are, drinking waters, and they were throwing the bottles away. And you need to be very careful not to stepping on those water bottles. And what we see is the pacer 10 over there. He holding the bottle, and I think that's his own beverage. Because we here, we not only work with the usual people, but also the hydrologists and also the nutritionists. They work out the best fix, and the pacer are checking the watch. They work out the best solution to your body, and so that you can get sufficient supplies over there. And they mark their bottles up usually by, some different colors of straws. They put tapes on it, and they also have sometimes even have graffitis on it. It's very interesting. We've got the first one, 25019, in the orange shirt. That's Dubo Abdish Tashom. He's from Ethiopia, and he's got his personal best here in China also in the Xiamen Marathon. 2:10:21, not bad at all. We're running towards the 33:25 that kind of time zone. They're still looking very confident over there. See the health run and family run, they are actually running towards the finishing point. And we see the lead group right there, a lovely group still. Yeah, we see the people for the marathon, that pink shirt man, very confident. That's a kiss. Yes, and we can see that people dancing the plaza dance. It's a very famous dance here in China, because usually when you reaches the time of retirement, you are likely to be dancing on the plaza with so many other people, so where you can make friends and then you can, you know, exercise and feel good about yourself. Still had Teshom running very strongly at the. He's settling very comfortable at the first of the lead group, and we've also got Lemmy on the side of the lead group. Lemmy Bahanu Hale. He's from Ethiopia also, and he's got his personal best of marathon in 2016 in Dubai. That's 2:04:33. Very impressive. It's a lovely weather here today, because it's still cloudy out there and the sun, we can see it, but it's not that strong. And you can see beautiful bridges on the Yellow River. It's very good to, you know, go by the Yellow River by boat, go around it. We've still got a very steady group. We've got Teshom on the first as the orange, and we've got the Lemmy and Gabru on the side with him. If only we can see in a different camera shot that we can see all the, you know, number bib of the athletes. In a different camera shot, but they're running very confidently and comfortably. That's a good sign. So as we can see along the road, you can see, you know, the crowds are building up. They are here to see the marathon. That's a lovely lady over there with butterflies on her back. Obviously, they're attending the marathon, and for F and G, that might be the half marathon. So as you can see, the people here, they're really enjoying themselves. So that signifies the importance of the Lanzhou Marathon is that it's not all about, you know, getting the scores, getting the results. It's about enjoying yourself in the sports, and just to experience it with all the people around you, to share this feeling of happiness and just feel good about yourself. Haven't seen a shot of women marathon, but I think we might put our attention on one particular athlete. That's Wang Ming. Her number bib is 3367, and and she's from Guizhou Zunyi, and her personal best is 2:33.04. That's that's last year in the Beijing Marathon. That's also, as we can see, the plaza dance of our aunties. Their way of feeling beautiful and exercise themselves. It always intrigued me that they're always wearing unified clothes so that they might see as a group, and they dance with great passion most of the time. For that, we can see a plaza over there. And I think that's the Matan, the island of culture. So the Yellow River make a turn right there at Matan Island. You can see two groups of people running there, both in the lead. And from 5 to 7.5 kilometers, we have the Lily Park. And so Lanzhou has its specialty, that's the Lanzhou lilies. So it used to be a forlorn waterside, the Lily Park, but now it's the largest outdoor spot for cultural activities. And we usually hold the Cultural Week of Yellow River every year. So in the Chinese culture, a harmonious happiness union that lasts for 100 years. That's what 百合, the lilies, mean. And it's usually, a beautiful wish for the newlyweds. We're still seeing the lead group over there. Lead men marathon. They look very content with where they are at the lead group because they haven't changed the way that they stand. They're running over there. They are taking their place very strongly, and it's still a very tucked-in group. We still haven't seen any, wrong splits or bad splits. So it's good. It's a good condition for them. As we see there are crowds along the streets, very lovely crowds, and they're waving. We also get Hel Mariam from Ethiopia. And Helmanot from Ethiopia, right there in a green shirt. So Helmanot Liu Indeyehu, that's from Ethiopia, and his personal best is in Dubai, this year 2:05:57. And as we see, that's the dance of Guozhuang, a traditional Tibetan dance. The dance of, happiness, of unity, and everything that give you a good wish. Well, they're wearing makeup. She must have got up very early in the morning. So welcome back. And the Lanzhou lily is not only for athletics but for food. So that's why you don't see many lilies along the road. And it tastes sweet and it has a lovely color of white jade. So good for skin and good for your lungs. Now the group has formed into a line shape, and yeah, as we can see, people were drinking from their bottles, throwing them away, and that's where the volunteers come in. And as you can see, the flags are waving. People are very excited about this long overdue marathon of Lanzhou. We've got people there pointing to the direction that they'll go, and I think that's the chase group. Oh yeah, finally. Here is the women marathon group, the lead group. It's a very lovely tucked-in group. We will see there the men in white and green. That's Nianzhe Ati. He's born in the 1996 and he's from Sichuan Leshan, and he got his personal best of marathon 2:17:23 in 2021 Xiamen. We've also got the men in white and blue and a little bit of pink there. That's Yang Chengxiang, born in 1993 and from Qinghai. And his personal best is 2:15:11 in 2020 Nanjing Marathon. Marathon Championships. Okay, that's a little bit of dance of our lovely ladies over there. And I think some of them are still learning the moves, which is really lovely. The very exciting crowds of runners. So yeah, they were crossing the bridge over there. For the men's marathon. That's the Jingyan Bridge over there. We've seen 17 kilometers just on the bridge, and it's a half-through arch bridge, and it's like a white ribbon looking from the sky, and it's 655.4 meters, and it's a two-way four-lane with a width of 28 meters, and it's a little bit, to be honest. Yesterday, as the car was driving across this Jingyan Bridge, it has a strong uphill, and then you will have to run downhill over there, and it's a little bit of bumpy road. So as we can see over there, there's a stone-like building that's the city construction exhibition hall. Yes, they make a strong turn over there when they just finish crossing the bridge. And then they will continue the journey, that route, on the north bank of the Yellow River. So coming down from the bridge is where the challenge really starts. So for the north bank, as I said earlier, it's more difficult to track than the south bank because its temperature gets higher, the road gets bumpier, and it's more likely for the runners to lose their energy real fast. So it's essential to conserve your energy at first. With this heat and the route condition, you're more likely to hit the wall earlier than usual, and it might last longer. So we've got Lemmy on the front. He's looking very strong indeed, Lemmy. And that's Hil Mariam from Ethiopia, and his personal best is 2:04.41 in 2021 France. We've still got a very strong compact of people from Ethiopia and Kenya as the men's marathon leading group. Yeah, that's the dance of Guodrong again, as they're wearing very traditional dancing clothes. And we've got different age of people of different ages that's right there. That's a welcoming dance, of course, of Lanzhou. They were shouting double gold event. Lanma is marvelous as a double gold event. They're both gold label and gold medal. got a little bit split of the men's group. We can see 2 athletes has been, lag behind along the way, and that gap is expected to be growing as the time accumulates. So we've got another one for half marathon. One of that. If only I can see his numbers, maybe in a different shot. So as they're running towards the 20 kilometers to 22.5 kilometers, there's this Baitashan Park. So it's named after a white pagoda of the Yuan dynasty, and it's lofty and undulating that it hugs the city from the outside. So there's a drum on the mountain that is made of elephant's height and a bronze bell and redwood tree. That's the 3 treasures of the Baita mountain. And so it connects the Zhongshan Bridge, that's where the very famous tourist attractions clutters. And from 20 to 21, there's a mosque just on the water, and also Lanzhou Hui Middle School. And just near the Baita mountain, there is this gate of Golden City, the Jincheng Guan, and it's built on the remains of the ancient gate, and it was established first in Qing dynasty and thrived in Han dynasty, a very essential line of defense of Qing. A must go through the place between the west and east for business. From here to the northwest, the Hexi corridor, southwest, we have up the river Huan, the Yellow River, and the plateau of Tibet. We can see the people starting to catching their breaths. Yeah, we've still got Gabru and Lemi running very strongly at the top. I can see just them on the side of the group. And also the Hamanot in the green shirt, running very strongly and confidently indeed. And we also have Abiane Dagu settling at the end of the group. There's a man in a wheelchair still running with the crowd, and he's looking very happy. And that's the Tai Chi. It's supposed to be a kind of kung fu, the traditional Chinese kung fu, and it's good for your body, good for your health, and sometimes it can hit the man with very slow motions. There are 2 paces up front. We still see the Gabru and Lemmy. So, as we can see, there are a beverage station and water station just along the road. There's Hermanot in the green shirt in the front. And Kyle from Ethiopia. And got his personal best 2018 in Netherlands, 2:05:58. That's the Hill Mariam in white shirt, settling very strong in the lead group. He's from Ethiopia and born in 1997. That's a performance supposed to be of the drums. 1:03:45. Halfway through we are. We have the timing car running at the front of the leading group. We have the women's marathon. Beatrice Chiptu at the front. Cheering crowd, we see them again. We're screaming, go, go, go. You've got this, you've got to go on. That's a heart over there. So, when we are running towards halfway, we've got 22.5 kilometers to 25 kilometers with several different tourist attractions. One is a large collection of ancient stones tablets, demonstrating famous carving tablets of Gansu of different times. And now we are running at 21.4 kilometers. We've still got a strong group of 7 with 2 paces, extra paces over there. We've got Hermanot at the front. people clapping over there to cheer them up. So as we're running towards the 22 kilometers, we have the Jiuzhou Tai. That's a playing field appeared up in the Baita Mountains, and the depth of the lowest here reaches 321 meters. And the best reserved and unaided lowest layer ever existed in the world right now. Yeah, we've still got Hamilton and Lemmy on the side. Running very strongly, a very tucked-in group. So we've got a group of 7 in the lead group and 2 pacers. The Gabriel was running on the left wing of the group. So as you can see, they're actually taking their time. They're not in a rush or anything, because the pacers are looking very confident, and I think they might get a good result today. They're running towards the 22.2 kilometers right now. And let's talk something about the marathon, because I talked to one of the my friend who runs in a marathon. I asked her what's the best part about marathon that she loves. She said that it's the cheering crowd, it's the people that don't know you, they are screaming to you as you go along the way, and they are very content and very happy all the way, and they're giving you smiles and also different kinds of souvenirs, and it just makes you feel like home, even when you're in a very different cities from hometown. So I think that's the meaning of holding the Lanzhou Marathon here. We've got lovely Lanzhou people that's got passion and hospitable and all the things in it that you need as a city to be in a good marathon. Oh, and we see 2 diverting from the way. I think they're coming to get water or beverages. Yes, they're doing that. And they were coming in the group. That's Johannes Makasha Tadessa in a very dark shirt. He's from Ethiopia and also got his personal best of 2:07:19. So we see the people in there holding a sign of 23 kilometers. And we've got medical stations along the way. If you need any help, just go to them. Then coming towards the 27 kilometers, we have this Longyuan theme park. And it's a dragon themed park. In the West, I think in the West, in its culture, the dragon has always been the symbol of evil. But here in China, we have to disagree. Because dragons are one of the most auspicious totem of China, of the Chinese. Here we have in the Longyuan Park the sculptures, the poems, the tablets of dragons, and even 1,100 different calligraphies of the letter of the dragon, Long. That means the dragon. They almost reach reached the half point. They were running, I think, towards the Jingyan Bridge. As we can see, the people in the lead group, they're taking small sips of water. It's very important to add on your water supply as you go along the way, because here the humidity has dropped. Now it's 8:42 in the morning, and the humidity has dropped by 10%. And that's a lovely view, the riverside view from the camera. Yeah, we still can see the Begne and as well as Lemmy and Gabru in the first. Yeah, we've got someone, I think that's for the half marathon perhaps, the ones who reach the finish point as the first one, the first place. Yeah, he did it. That's 45601. I wonder who that is. We still see a very strong group over there, only one pacer at the front and Lemmy on the left side of the group. And Heymanot as the front. And we've got one behind. And I think that's Gabru, is it? So we still got a very tucked-in group of less and less people on the road. That's likely to happen when you reach the latter half of the road, because we have different kind of people like deserting their different level of energy along the way. We have Lemmy at the front running very strongly, and Johans and Abene, and they're running very, very strong. Lemmy with the number of 01. He's from Ethiopia. So as we're running towards the 24.6 kilometers, and we were going towards the Anning district. That's where the university cluster is. So basically, Anning is famous for its peach. That's called Baifeng peach. It's top 10 in China. But the city flower of Lanzhou is rose, as you can see. But you rarely see them on the street, because it's a special agricultural product as the lilies. So it's used for food as well as essential oils and perfumes. It provides half of the rose essential oils across the nation. So So we got the pacer looking at his watch, and he decided to go a little bit quicker than usual, and he waves a bit them because it's like he's saying the latter half will be yours. I'll leave it to you then. So we've got Lemmy running very strongly at the very front. So here in Lanzhou, you cannot miss this, the beef noodles, because of its migrant city, of course, and it has multi-ethnicity. So we've got the wheat from Han ethnicity and way of cooking from Hui, and beef from the Tibet, and salt from Mongolia, from Hmong. And that's where the beef noodles come in. So there are 453 restaurants of beef noodles scattered in 705 streets, accounting for 64.3% of the noodle restaurants here in Lanzhou. And people in Lanzhou start their day with a bowl of hot Lanzhou beef noodles, and the passion of the Lanzhou beef noodles wakes up the whole city. It's their very own version of our daily dose of caffeine. So we use 5 colors to describe that. Specialty 1 clear, that's the soup, 2 white, that's white radish, and 3 red and the chili, and 4 green for coriander, which I don't like, and the garlic sprouts, and 5 yellow for the noodles. Okay, that's the orange shirts. We've got a bene and Elfwak, Mesfin Wadatesa from Ethiopia, and his personal best is 2:09.28. It's a lovely group of 6 people running in lead. And back to the beef noodles, it has improved itself in the past 100 years, and now it's one of the 3 Chinese fast food. The other 2 being, if you're interested, Shaxian refreshments, Shaxian 小吃, and the braised chicken with rice, 黄焖鸡米饭. So the number of Lanzhou beef noodles resto has reached 50,000 across the world, and Lanzhou beef noodle is so popular that there is to be a regulation for it that could be passed and put into law, aimed to protect this specialty and to ensure its standard. So we got Lemmy at the second. They're running as a string over there towards the 27 kilometers. So first man is Hel Mariam at the front, that's 02, that's his number, and Lemmy and Hemanot, that's the first 3 in the group, and Abene, the 4th, and Johans, the 5th. And how Mariam has been looking at his watch. I think he's counting for his own results. That's 1 hour 21:18 for the run. They were screaming, Lanzhou Marathon is the best. We can still see the cheering crowd over there, very passionate crowd. So we actually use new technologies here. We use the WBGT devices here in Lanzhou Marathon. It's a wet bulb globe temperature. It's a type of apparent temperature used to estimate the effect of temperature, humidity, and wind speed. And I think that's for the women's half marathon. We've got the first one, the winner, right there. We now have a little bit of change of the current standings. We've got Lemmy at the front, running very strongly and confident. And Hel Mariam has fallen into 3rd place. Yeah, we've got more people reaching the finishing line. Well done. As we can see, they've been consuming a lot of energy and they are just resting on their feet. Congratulations, you've won. So the people from the other lane is filming towards the lead group. We also got a very strong group over there, a little bit scattered. Are reaching different water stations and beverage stations over there, and he was trying to grab a bottle of water and hand it over and to ask if anyone in the group also needs it. That's also teamwork. So it's sometimes marathon, it's not only competing against each other but also a teamwork competition. The people have different jobs in the lead group. For the half marathon, we've got women across that half marathon. And looking at the watch, and it's 28 kilometers in. We've still got Lemmy at the front. For the WBGT, it's a type of apparent temperature used to estimate the effects of the temperature, humidity, wind speed, wind chills, and the visible and infrared radiation, usually sunlight, on humans. So it's used in today's sporting events to determine the appropriate exposure level to high temperature, and it's very, very handy in preventing the heat illness. We got Hamanot at the front and Lemmy falls behind. And also the committee has set 2 WBGT devices, first at the start and finishing point, and the second at the middle of the race. So we got 4 different colors of the WBGT device. First one is white. White means safe. Green, attention. Yellow, warning. Red, serious warning. Black, danger, which means you need not go any further and you need to watch yourself. We still got Hamanot running very strongly at the front, and Lemmy over there kind of escorted to the yeah, he got back and just running right at the back of the Hamanot. We've got 3 on the lead. That's Hamanot, Lemmy, and Abene. I think the one in black shirt is Johans, is it? The first 4. Yeah, Lemmy is taking a look at the watch. Yeah, that's Johans. So Hamanot, Lemmy, and Abene. We've still got, we've got someone trying to overrun them at the side. So his people are looking, the people in the lead group are looking towards him. What are you doing? We're supposed to be in a group. Let's figure it out. So they're splitting the kind of clutter again. Oh, that one was taking the right route. And I think that's F-Work. F-Work Mesfin Wada Tensei. That's the first to discover which route that they should take. That's the University of Agriculture in Lanzhou celebrating the Lanzhou Marathon, which means that the characters means the energetic Lanzhou Marathon and to build dreams around it. We'll come back after this.
蓝马加油！
So
辛苦了。
今年是新赛道，感觉非常棒。
Welcome back. It's been 1 hour and 32 minutes after we start the race. We've got Hail Mariam at the front and Lemmy Hail Mariam at the front, running very strongly with a bottle in his hand. And I don't think today we've seen in the scenery the Zhongshan Bridge. And that's the classic and the most well-known tourist attraction here in Lanzhou because it has a history of 100 years. It used to be a floating bridge called Zhenyuan. And then the Zhenyuan Bridge, the Zhenyuan floating bridge was made of 25 boats and you put wooden board on it, and it dates back to the Han Dynasty. And in Qing Dynasty, Mr. Zuo Zongtang, who was the head of the westernization movement, the governor of the Shanxi and Gansu provinces and minister who gets direct order from the emperor, saw the need of an iron bridge and got to it. So 1907, the steel and other materials shipped through Tianjin to Zhengzhou to Lanzhou. And 1909 completed that steel highway bridge. As we can see, it's the origin of China. It's a statue of Fuxi and Nuwa. And they're like the Chinese version of Adam and Eve, the parents of the human race of the Chinese people. And the sculpture, the statue was created by the famous sculptor Wu Weishan, and the characters face different directions. The Nuwa is standing, repairing the sky, and Fuxi is squatting, looking at the earth. They were said to be born both here in Tianshui, Gansu. Nuwa created the human beings using the soil, the clays, and saved the human race by repairing the sky and preventing it from falling. And Fuxi holds the human prophecies and civilized the people. So we got Hail Mariam running very strong. As we can see, there's been a split. We've got a group, Hail Mariam running very strong on the very front, and we got a group of 3 over there, and I think that's Lemmy, Haminot, and someone over there. Abene, perhaps? So with such a strong speed, and we're running towards the 32 kilometers, and we've got the last 10 kilometers left. I wonder if the gap is still going to last. Hail Mariam does not only do marathon and half marathon. They also do. He also does the 10,000 meters and 10 kilometers. And both, they've got very. Oh, we see the gaps has been building up at this stage, and it's a bold move when there's 10 kilometers left. So Hail Mariam running very strongly at the very front and leaving nearly 50 meters behind. That's a huge gap we've seen. I think he's trying very hard to get a good result. Way to go. Yeah, that's the number bib 02, Hail Marianne, Kiros Kabudu. I think he's very confident in his speed, and he's not looking at his watch or anything. That's 32 kilometers over there. To the introduction of the Zhongshan Bridge. So it was completed in 1909, and it's a 233 meter steel highway bridge. And to celebrate the completion of this bridge, the celebrating banquet cost 180 liang of silver. That's a Chinese way of weighing the silver. That's 9 kilograms of silver, which I think equals 135,000 yuan. That's a huge amount for a banquet. And we are seeing the Hail Marianne is running very confidently because he's not taking any water from here and not any beverages. And so for the Zhongshan Bridge, it's the first bridge on the Yellow River and the most frugal project before Qing was overthrown, and a bravo move that shook up the Chinese people. So this was by this sentence that describing the Zhongshan Bridge is by Mr. Ye Gongchuo, the chief of Transportation Department of Beiyang government, and he wrote this in his memoir. So the Times in 1910 posted a picture of the chief journalist Morrison by Chief Journalist Morrison called Industry of Gansu. So in the memory of Sun Zhongshan in 1928, we changed the name Zhenyuan to the name Zhongshan Bridge. And when during the war, when we were supposed to protect the bridge, we painted grey. Now it is not a bridge for cars, it's only for people. It's a walking bridge. So we can see the gap is still building up. I think that might be 100 meters between Hail Marianne and the other athletes behind him. He's running very strongly. Let's see if he can keep it that way. So the camera is still pointing at Hail Marianne, and he can't seem to be bothered. He's not. He's very concentrated in his race, and it's 33 kilometers right there. He's still got a very steady speed, I'd say. He's not speeding up or anything. He just draw the gap between them, and then he keep it that way. So he was looking back to his shoulders to see if he's taking the right route. And yeah, that's the turning point of the marathon, where you can see that's just beside the Intan Bridge. So there's a wetland park here in Intan at the turn of the Yellow River, and it's home to lots of wild birds like an emerald that's along the river. And it's the only wetland park beside the Yellow River here in Gansu. That's very lovely. That has brought us back to the topic of environmental protection of the Yellow River. And people has valued very much the protection of the environment of the river and the conditions of the river, because they've realized how important it is to the living standard and living qualities. And we can see that people here are dancing with flags in their hand, as 5 circles over there. Hail Mariam is still running very strongly into the 34 kilometers. There are 8 more kilometers to go. We can see the people are cheering. We see this lovely background of all those trees right there. And that's the University of Agriculture again. It's the energetic Lanzhou Marathon and building the dream of the University of the Agriculture. So when the helicopter has gone this far, they can still hear the cheering crowd. That's very passionate about them. So Hail Mariam, we still see that he's wearing a silver necklace on his neck. I think that's kind of his style, a very minimalist in that way. He's taking very huge steps right here, and very steady pace, I'd say. It's 9:14 in the morning in here in Lanzhou, and the temperature has gone up. So has the passion of the people over there. We've got people from different age joining this race, and I'd love to see that. This is also the plaza dance, one kind of the plaza dance. And I think it's one of the Guozhuang dance, is it? It's a traditional Chinese dance anyway. They're wearing beautiful, very colourful clothes. And there's a twin over there. Twins, is that? I think so. They're wearing the same clothes though. We'll be back after this. Welcome back. Well, at this stage of the race, for those elite athletes, I think they're very confident with their body conditions. But for those of you who are just joining the marathon race, I think it's very important for you to supply yourself with water and beverages along the way. Like every little station you need to stop here and have something to drink, to eat, the energy gel or the salt ball, because it might take a little bit of time for your body to digest those kind of nutritions and just transform them into energy that is used in your marathon race. So you might be careful with that. Sometimes when you feel you're tired and you're hungry and you're losing a lot of energy, and it will be late in a kind of late point when you can have that. So he just passed the Hail Marianne has just passed the 35 kilometers. So as we can see, he's running towards the beverage station, and I think that's his bottle right there. They've marked their bottles with different colors and different things that they could recognize. So that's the statue of Fuxi and Nuwa, just as we were talked about right there. That's the park of the origins of the Chinese people. So I can't see from Hail Mariam's view that the people behind him are really far away from him. So basically we've got the leading group, the leading people, the leading person of Hail Mariam. He's drinking very carefully during the stage. So the time gap is going to accumulate with this running very strong Hail Mariam. So it's usually a team sport, you know, for the marathon. People watching from the outside think that it's an individual sport, but sometimes, but most of the times these days, they were training as a team and regularly as a team, and they push each other around and down and help each other out. Usually they run from themselves, but there are some tactics in there, sharing drinking bottles, and but it's interesting to see that Hail Marianne is left on his own at the very front of the race. And that is also, as we are seeing right now, is also a kind of plaza dance for mostly for the retirement people who have retired. I might join them one day, I think. Yeah, we've got, I think that's the women marathon right there, the lead group. We've still got strong pacers over there. 3 pacers in the leading group. And Hail Mariam is still going very strongly, and I can't see anyone behind him, which is kind of rare here in Lanzhou Marathon, because we don't usually see that much of a gap between the chasing group and the lead group, and the lead group is usually more than one person right there. And we can see Beatrice Chiptu right there in the orange shirt. And Beatrice Chiptu she's from Kenya. She was born in 1993, and she got her personal best this year in Doha, 2:22.28. That's very strong indeed. I can only recognize her from this point of view. I think there are one more right there in the lead group of the women's marathon. As we can see, Hail Mariam has just has just did the U-turn just beside the Yingtan Bridge, and he is now crossing the bridge. And the people on the different lane were cheering him up, and they were filming him, as they're still very surprised and astonished to see such a strong racer right here. he's definitely one of the top ones. So he's about to cross the bridge. We've got the 37 on the middle of the bridge, of the Yingtan Bridge. And it's 1:52:11 right now. Marianne is taking a look at his watch, and I can see there are 2-3 people behind him. So the Yingtan Bridge, the problem is at this point of the race you are losing a lot of energy, and you are basically relying on your basic instinct of running towards the end. And the bridge is just, it has a huge uphill, and then you have to go downhill right there. So after he crossed the bridge, he will make a U-turn again. And yeah, as you can see, that's the title of the Yingtan Bridge. Yingtan Bridge of the Yellow River. So we are seeing the people from the other lane. That's the half marathon people, and we can see one of the people is trying to run with the Marianne. They were doing pictures and photos and videos with him along the way. That's very interesting to me, as they think they were running with the star of this Lanzhou marathon. So the Yingtan Bridge is where the half marathon and marathon meet, and we can see there are many mist spraying trunks, mist cannon trunks, to ensure that people don't get harms from the high temperature right here, because the temperature now is 9:24. And the temperature has reached 22 degrees centigrade. And for the UV rays, it has reached level 3, and I think that's when the mist cannon truck has to be involved to make sure that people don't get too much heat from the UV rays. And now the sensible temperature here is 21 degrees centigrade. So when your sensible temperature is lower than the actual temperature, it's hard for you to get the sweat out, and that's why you can't get your sweat out to lower your temperature that way. Just then we saw the gems of the Lanzhou city. If if you're wondering, we've seen a kind of transportation method right there. It's called sheepskin raft. So it's the most ancient tool to cross the river, almost 1,000 years ago. It was made by sheepskin or cowhide, and it's easy to make, it costs a little, and it's very convenient to use. So because of the pasturing area provides the abundant sheep, and we can get the sheep hide from that. And so, but now it has disappeared because there are many, very advanced way of transportation here. It has disappeared over time for 3 major ways to go around. For there are multiple ways to go around, but you could still have a try to experience what it's like as a tourist. Into the 38.3 kilometers, we still see Hal Marianne running very strongly towards the end. And he just made a U-turn when he crossed the bridge, and he's running with, I think, 1 or 2 turns before he reaches the finishing point. And I think that might be today's winner. Well done! Hal Mariam is what they're screaming towards him. The half marathon people are very passionate over there because they've got a lovely, lovely treat for their eyes. They were screaming towards him as a kind of pumping up. They're good cheerleading people, by the way, for the half marathon people. As we can see, he's speeding up a bit at a kind of settled pace still. He is speeding up that way. It's really, really fascinating to see that he's actually taking up so much speed at this point of the race. And there's no one behind him whatsoever. Hal Mariam and his perfect dancing silver necklace. Oh, there are people over there waving and waving hearts towards the crowd. They were shouting, "Go, go, go." And yeah, we still have this plaza dancing over there. Lovely ladies over there. I love their smiles, always. And how they learn just on the plaza during their spare time. They can do beautiful dances. Running very fast. You can see the white point over there. I think it's a bird view from the Huanghe mansion over there. And Hal Mariam, everyone. I think he's going very strong indeed. The last 2 kilometers, come on. It's 2:01 now. I think he's very determined to make the new meeting record. That's why he was looking at his watch. The last turn over there. And people were screaming, "Go, go, go" to him. 2 more kilometers to go. Come on. Hail Marianne, you can do it. It's hard for him to surpass his personal best, I think, because the weather condition and also the route condition here in Lanzhou is not the easiest one to run. But it might still be a chance for him to beat the meeting record. Let's see. He's still running at a very strong speed over there. And just down the Yellow River Mansion, there are aunties and lovely ladies doing their umbrella dances. And they're also cheering the people up. They were doing this especially for the marathon of their city, of the beloved city. The people were still looking very optimistic and very happy in the run. And that's the meaning of the marathon, to bring happiness to people and health. Yeah, we can see he's dropping off the bottle, the Hail Marianne. I think that's the last time for him to drink from the bottle. So before we, he's looking at his watch again to check of the time. Before we reach the finishing point of the Hail Marianne, let's see the half marathon. The first 3 of the half marathon. The first one is Magasa Jizo Bekele 1:08:28. And for second place is Zhang Xuekang 1:09:24 and Zhang Guofu 1:12:42. That's very good indeed. So for the Hail Marianne, he's still running very strongly towards the end. And I think there's only 1 kilometer to go. Let's see. That's 41 kilometers. This is the last 1 kilometer for the Hail Marianne. Well done, you! He's looking at his watch again. You can feel the heat and the tension is building up, but he's settling very, very comfortably at his place as the first. He's still got the chance to beat the meeting record right here, because it's 2:06 right here. He's still got the time to beat the meeting record, and the finishing point is just right at his hand side. I think he might be able to do it. That's the last turn, and we can see he's approaching the finishing point very fast at a very steady speed. Let's see if he can beat the meeting record of 2:10:10. If he does, it's good for him. Good for Lan州Marathon. So we can see right there is the mist cannon truck over there spraying the mist among the people. Yeah, we can see people directing him to the end, to the finishing point. Running very fast right there, and it's his competition. It's his. It's definitely his. And the last 400 meters right there. Please do beat the meeting record. It would be really exciting to see that. Yeah, it's 2:08:40 right there. The people are cheering here, the crowds are cheering him to build him up, the strength and energy. Yeah, and he's reaching towards the finishing point. Yes, I think he's already beaten the meeting record of 2:08:58 right there. That's the new meeting record of the Lanzhou Marathon. Well done, you. Well done, Hao Marianne. Oh my gosh. It's really hard for him to do that, but he did it. It's not his personal best. It's not, but it's his new meeting record. It's his. Congratulations, Hao Marianne. He's very strong indeed over there, and people going well done you, well done for him. And we've got the second one, the second place, Elfwerk Mesfin, Woda Tessa, the last 300 meters. He's also from Ethiopia, and the second place is looking at the watch. And the heat is building up. He's waving towards the crowd. He's very content with his results. Oh, and he's doing a salute over there towards the end. He's enjoying himself, surely, right there at the end. Yes, that's 2:10:31 right there. Well done you, Elfwerk Mesfin, well done Tessa, and the second place for today's marathon. And we've got the third place, Hemanot Aliu Ndeyehu, and he's also from Ethiopia. I love his pink shoes. He's looking at the crowds cheering him up. And that's 2:11:11. That's really good for you. Hemanot from Ethiopia. We've got the first three the first place, second place, and third place of this Lanzhou Marathon. And we've seen a beating of the meeting record here, which is really exciting for me today. I think Hal Miriam did a very good job in, conserving his energy at the first half of the race, and then when it comes through the 30 kilometers, there's 12 kilometers left. He just speed up and just beat those men in his group, and then catching the front, and then he stays in the front till the very end. Well done. Very well done in energy allocating and all the skills in, the running the marathon. We'll see a slightly unsteady camera shot from someone over there, and that's as we can see the Zhongshan Iron Bridge, which is beautiful over there. We have people running on it. We've got the confirmation from the judges that the half marathon, first place, as I said, Magasa Jizo Bekele from Ethiopia, 1:08:28. Second place, Zhang Xuekang, from China, 1:09:24. And Zhang Guofu, third place from China, 1:12:42. You can see the pacer right there, and just behind him, you might see who's that behind him. Just give me a shot, please. That's Litebran Haile Gebrselassie from Ethiopia right there. Her personal best is 2:24:47. Is running very strongly towards the end. Litebran Haile Gebrselassie. Right there, and Pace is looking over his shoulders to check if she's still there. think the pace is talking to her as to see if they were following his pace. Lisa ran right there, running at a steady speed, holding something in her hand, and I think it's the energy gel, is it?
She's from Ethiopia and born in the 1990s.
I think she might be the first one to reach the finishing point for the women's marathon here today in Lanzhou. She's looking at her watch again to check. Now it's 9:49, which means we've nearly reached 2 hours and 20 minutes after we start the journey. Lisa ran right there, and her pacer is right there waving to someone. I think Lisa Brand is very committed to this race, and she's rather than looking rather like the other marathon racers, they were just looking this way or that way and then go and get a bottle of drink or something. She's just very committed to that, and she's looking at her watch again. Eyes on the prize, or eyes on the earth. Lisa ran, and people will start to waving their phones towards her. Close-up for the Lita Ran, and her pacer I think is trying to tell the men besides Lita Ran to go a little bit further than the group, a little bit further from the group. and that's Lisa Brand catching the beverage on her own, using yellow and white straws right there. At this point of the stage, he needs to drink some water and some beverages because it's the last kilometers. That's dropping of the bottle. This is also our marathon running group. I think they're all heroes at this point of the race. They're really, they have the energy to wave. Oh my gosh, that's not Spider-Man, is it? Okay, he's screaming, come on, Lanzhou Marathon, and everyone is following him. And we've got those two at the very beginning of the shot in costumes, right there. I do admire them to have the guts to wear this to the marathon and to run for it. So we've got Lisa Brand, still right there. It's a strange group of three, right? A pacer, a men's marathon race, and Lisa Brand. And I think Lisa Brand and his pacers is trying to get rid of this athlete. And his pacer has instructed Lisa Brand to go right behind him. We've got 6 minutes left for the meeting record of the women's marathon. Let's see if she's gonna make it. Pacer for Lisa Brand is Tesfaye Guteta Lita, also from Ethiopia. The timing car is 2:25 right now. We've got 5 more minutes left for Lisa Brand to break the meeting record. Somehow that one from the men's marathon has decided to go along with them all the way. And the pacer has instructed Lisa Brand to go right behind him again, and they change route. I think he's trying a little bit to get her on the safe track. Okay, she's running towards the finishing point. She's got 3 minutes left to break the record. Let's see if she's gonna make it. Come on, Lisa Bram. Obviously, Lisa Brand's pacer has picked up the speed, and Lisa Brand is trying to catch up. And the pacer has instructed Lisa Brand to go a little bit tucked in the road. The last turning point. No. Oh, they've gone the wrong route. Is it? People, yeah. She's finishing at the right route again because the people were the instructions were a little bit vague for her. Obviously, now she's safe and back on track. She's got 2 more minutes to go. Come on, Lisa Bram. Come on. You can do it. The crowds are cheering her up. Okay, that's the first place of women's marathon. Let's see. Yes, the 2:29:09. That's the new meeting record also. What's happening today? People are running at really good results. And that's Lisa Bram. She's obviously has exerted all her energy there. She's lying on the ground and feeling very tired and happy at the same time. It's really exciting to see people have made the best results here today, but we need to get the confirmation from the committee today to confirm the results. And that's the second place for women's marathon 2:30. And I think that's Tadalak Bekele Nedi, also from Ethiopia, and we got the 3rd place right there. And I think the third place has like all of them has exceeded the meeting record of 2:30:20 right there. It's really exciting to see the elite athletes here making their best, exerting their effort, and to win this marathon, not only by the 1st to 3rd place, but also to break the meeting record here today. It's really exciting to see this. So that's Beatrice Chiptu right there. So we've got confirmation for the half marathon today here in Lanzhou. The first place goes to Garafa Derachu Helu from Ethiopia, 1:16:45. And the second place goes to Li Meichen from China, 1:18:56. And Wang Qiaoxia from China, 1:20:55. it's really lovely to have a bird view again of the finish and starting point here in Lanzhou Olympic Sports Center. And it's really, really a great day to see all these athletes. They're reaching their limits and they're breaking the records here today. We've seen it all. So we're seeing people running towards the end, they were speeding up, and they were still going very strongly at that. And as we can see right here, with the number bib 30367, that's Wang Ming for women's marathon. She's born in 1997 and Guizhou Zunyi. And she has a lot of followers right there. And her personal BP is, her personal best is 2:33.04 last year in Beijing, and she's speeding up towards the end, the finishing line. Look at Wang Ming right there for women's marathon, running very strong. So I think Lanzhou Marathon is one of the difficult races in marathon here in China, because the because of the route is a little bit complicated than usual, and you need to climb up and down the hill, and because of its altitude of 1,500 kilometers, it might be very hard for you to get enough oxygen, and it's also very easy for you to lose energy and electrolyte and micro elements during the race. So it's important to have some refreshments and beverages along the way so that you don't get dehydrated or out of energy that way. Lovely ladies dancing the Guozhuang dance. Yeah, now we've got the confirmation from the committee of Lanzhou Marathon 2023. We've got the women's marathon first three. The first place is Lisa Bram Haley Gebreselassie from Ethiopia, 2:29.09, breaking of the meeting record, and also Tadelek Bekele Nedi from Ethiopia, 2:30.04, also breaking the record, and Beatrice Chiptu, the third place, 2:30.17. also breaking the record that's made also by an Ethiopian in 2019, 2:30:22. Congratulations on this three. It's really, I didn't expect this, to be honest, at first, to see that all of the third places of women's race here in Lanzhou, the Lanzhou Marathon, to break the meeting record, all three of them. It's really hard to see that, and it's good to see that. It's a great view to watch. It's a great match, and I feel so excited about it. I think it's not only because of the technologies they use these days are really more advanced than usual, but also I think these three people, they're working very hard towards the end and to just handing it toward the end. And here we've also got the Lanzhou Marathon 2023, the first three of the marathon men's group. The first place is Helmariam Kiros Kibadu, 2:08:57, breaking the meeting record. And second place, Afwerk Mesvin Wodatensa, also from Ethiopia, 2:10:31. In the third place, Hemanot Aliu Indayahu, also from Ethiopia, 2:11:10. So it's really exciting and fascinating, and really I'm overwhelmed to see the breaking of both the men's meeting record and the women's meeting record. And now we have the new meeting record of the Lanzhou Marathon's men of 2:08:57, made here today on the 11th of June by Helmariam Kiros Kibadu from Ethiopia. And the new women's marathon meeting record of the Lanzhou Marathon, made by Lita Bram Haile Gebreslesa from Ethiopia, 2:29:09. Congratulations on you. The temperature here today is really good for our run. I thought it was gonna be very sunny out there till the noon, but now, as you can see, it's still cloudy, and we're still got good humidity percent, and we still got good temperature, slightly strong UV rays level. Yeah, so you can see people, the runners, moving towards the end. Congratulations on you all. And I think that's Wang Ming over there as the first Chinese woman reaching the finishing point, I think. Come on, Wang Ming. And she's smiling and waving towards the crowd. People are cheering her up. With the results of 2:42:10 right there. Wang Ming from China, Guizhou. still a lot of people running there on the route towards the end and making the best, doing their best till the very end. That's what matters. So here today in Lanzhou, on the 11th of June 2023, we've witnessed the breaking of the meeting record for the Lanzhou Marathon. Yes, we've seen lovely ladies running there towards the end. So, as you can see in the shots here in Lanzhou, that Lanzhou is a city that used to not to be this green, but right now, with the idea and the awareness of protection of the Yellow River, we've planted trees over there, and we've built so many plazas and, you know, places for people to live, to do the plaza dance, to do the running here in Lanzhou that makes Lanzhou such a perfect city. And with this unique feature, with this Lanzhou Marathon, just running alongside the Yellow River, where you can see you have, where the river has witnessed thousands of years of history of human beings. And it's a very special moment for us all. People were cheering the runners as they were running towards the end. That's a great view to see. And as you can see, the marathon runners, they're usually very thin because of their burning of the fat more easily than the usual people who just does not do the run this much. So, as you can see here in the Olympic Sports Center, a beautiful center that is has built its arenas and stadiums on the symbol of the 5 flowers. Rose, the tulip, and as we can see, the people were running in the mist that's sprayed by the mist cannon truck. It's the committee's way of protecting our runners from being from harm of the heat. There's a lovely shot of the medal there of the marathon Marathon, the Lanzhou Marathon medal is very unique with the statue, the sculpture of the River Mother. So the River Mother sculpture is an iconic city sculpture where you can see just towards the 12 kilometers of the route, and it was made in 1986 by Miss He E, a world-renowned sculptor from Lanzhou. And it's one of the most beautiful sculptures and statues that depicts the Yellow River as the mother river of the Chinese. So it shows a calm, elegant mother that lies on her arms on the bank of the Yellow River, watching over her child who's swimming in her arms. And it shows the love of the River Mother that's inclusive, honest, caring, and demure.
山桥很长，没有思念长。银河路上唱歌的人，那在那他你？年少时的啤酒摊，是谁宿醉的早上？醒不了的黄河边，只有你和那月亮。九泉路飘，槐花儿香。滨潭桥下看夕阳，正宁路上浪两趟，卖醪糟的味道还是一样难遗忘。你好，兰州，唱你的歌谣。那座桥下那条河，流淌在心上。你好，兰州，画你的模样。那一碗牛肉面，它伴在我身旁。在夏天的晚上，星星落在蓝山，那时我们牵手看繁星璀璨。转眼间好多年，一切都在变，你早已成了家，那朵花 未曾改变。九泉路飘，槐花儿香，银滩桥下看夕阳。证明路上浪两趟，买老早的味道还是一样难遗忘。你好，兰州，唱你的歌谣。那座桥下那条河，流淌在心上。你好，兰州，画你的模样。那一碗牛肉面，它伴在我身旁。你好，兰州，唱你的歌谣。每条路上的四季都没能遗忘。你好，兰州，画你的模样，让我的思绪随风去飘散。
That's the lovely song of Hello Lanzhou, and that nearly concludes today's event of Lanzhou Marathon here today. It's always lovely to see all those lovely faces right there. It's the men's, I think it's the men's, that's half marathon or marathon. So there's the awarding ceremony of the Lanzhou Marathon 2023. That's the first three of the men's marathon race. That's the gold cup and the medal over there. So it's lovely to see all those different people working towards the same target as Lanzhou Marathon. The whole city is celebrating and doing their best to help these people of the marathon. It's really touching. They've also got a flowering right there. The price is very decent, as I said. It's $12,000 for the third place. And $15,000 for the second place. And the $40,000 for the first place. And another addition of $10,000 as breaking the meeting record. That's in total it's $50,000, and he's totally worth it. He's trying to show both of the fact that there's not enough gap right there. They're taking a really good picture right there. So congratulations to you all. That's Helmeriam, Kiros Kubati, first place. Afwak Masfin, Wardatensa, the second place, and Hemanot Liu Igdayahu, the third place. The competition is still going on, marathon is still on, and we still get people running towards the finishing point right there. And I think this is the end. I hate to say this, but it's the end of the Lanzhou Marathon 2023. And very best of luck to those who hasn't finished the run. Please do continue to do that, and we'll be waiting on the finishing point for you all. And thank you so much, so much for being here with us on the 11th of June for the Lanzhou Marathon 2023. I'm Bao Shanshan. It's an honor to be here with you. Goodbye and see you next year. Bye.
现在的时间是2小时58分，快59分了。咱们各位破三大神，破三就在眼前了，加油！祝贺，咱们今天顺利破三了。而此刻我们300的3位兔子配速员也带着咱们破三大军向终点跑来了。祝贺大家，2023兰州马拉松我们顺利破三了。破三就在眼前，我们几年的努力在今天得到了回报。我们要感谢3位为大家破三立下了汗马功劳的兔子，他们分别是梁宇、梁季、肖鹏鹏，感谢你们3位。也祝贺我们顺利破三的所有运动员，祝贺！我们赛事呢，除了有赛会的总成绩以外，还会有每个选手心片的净成绩。就算您总成绩距离3小时差那么几十秒钟，但是心片净成绩，我们还是很有可能突破300的。破3了，是我们99%的大众跑者这一辈子最高的一个目标。能够全马破3，您迈入到了我们中国跑者前3%的绝对精英，30个人里头才能出现一位破3的大神呢。这一刻，大神2字的称号与您实至名归，当之无愧。当然，每一位跑者，我们都有许多自己心中的目标。有的跑者是为了破3，有的跑者呢是为了破310。那么310呢，就是3小时10分，这个标准呢，是以前我们男子国家2级运动员的标志，而且这需要让选手每1公里用时4分半以内持续巡航才能够310完赛。所以呢，我们现在所有完赛的选手都是咱们国家以前的2级老的达标选手，算得上是国家2级运动员了。而且在301、302完赛，实际上我们的平均配速呢还是在420以内的。418、419，现在您的配速是418、419，是在420以内的，绝对的高手。420配速完赛的话，那差不多全马就是303。现在呢只是3小时02分，所以前半程其实跑得更快一些。今天呢虽然天气稍微有些炎热，但是运气已经很不错了。咱们在今天没有阳光暴晒，而是一个比较阴凉的一个天气。也再次的祝贺各位选手完赛。女生们、先生们，兰州银行杯2023兰州马拉松女子组颁奖仪式现在开始。 让我们掌声有请获奖运动员和颁奖嘉宾现在入场。The award marathon ceremony of women in thank of Lanzhou Cup 2023 Lanzhou Marathon will now begin. Let's welcome the honored guests and players. 第3名，比特瑞斯·切普图，来自肯尼亚，成绩2小时30分17秒。The third prize winner is Beatrice Chip from Kenya. Congratulations. 第2名，阿德莱·贝克勒，来自埃塞俄比亚，成绩2小时30分04秒。The second prize winner is Hatese Bekele from Ethiopia. 第1名，莱特布莱·海兰，来自埃塞俄比亚，他的夺冠成绩是2小时29分09秒。The champion is Lightbrain Haile from Ethiopia. 下面有请甘肃省体育局局长王向晨为获奖运动员颁发奖杯，欢迎。Now let's welcome Mr. Wang Xiangchen to award the trophy for our winners. 下面有请兰州市政府秘书长段廷志为获奖运动员颁发奖牌，欢迎。Now let's welcome Mr. 段廷志 to award the medal for our winners. 下面有请中侨体育股份有限公司兰州分公司总经理吕振川为获奖运动员颁发奖票和花环。Now let's welcome Mr. 吕振川 to award the prize and flowers for our winners. 请颁奖嘉宾移步颁奖台两侧，与获奖运动员合影留念。女士们、先生们，让我们用热烈的掌声向获奖运动员表示祝贺。请颁奖嘉宾和获奖运动员移步台下休息，谢谢。怎么，各位跑者？现在3小时06分，是我们在终点前值得祝贺的时间了。跑完了42公里，您感觉到快乐吗？也许您并没有跑出一个个人的 PB， 但是您享受到的是全中国独一无二的兰马赛场的氛围，还有热情。今天虽然没有像前面几天一样，可以说是艳阳万里，晴空高照，但是我想这样的一个天气，其实是对我们全程马拉松的选手最有力的发挥的一个凭证。老天今天真的很给力啊！昨天、前天阳光暴晒，今天大家看到 真的是很舒服的一个天，虽然还是偏热了一些，但是能够在咱们2023兰马跑进310，跑进430配速，你们知道吗？这个是之前的国家2级标准呐。在去年之前，男子国家2级是310，所以如果我们把我们兰马赛场跑3小时10分，您就感受到了3小时10分的快乐。您感受到的不只是风驰电掣的速度，还有我们山呼海啸的热情，对吧？祝贺我们全部跑进了310大关的各位跑者。可能您是赛会总成绩跑进310，可能您是今天的净成绩跑进310，4分半，这个对于大众来说望尘莫及的配速，今天我们实现了，而且我们是在海拔1500米的兰州，咱们的金城兰州在亚高原实现的310，太棒了！体验的是兰马最美的风景。2011年兰马元年，2011年兰马的精彩正式拉开帷幕。如果您是一位兰马的资深的老朋友，您还记得2011到2013，我们从东方红广场出发的那种壮阔嘹亮，还有满心的激情澎湃吗？您还记得从2014到2019，我们移步到甘肃国际会展中心，从那里出发时，您心中的波澜壮阔吗？而今天，我们终于将起点和终点再次的改变到了兰州国际会，我们兰州奥体中心。在这里，您感受到的是新兰马、新征程、新的跑 不一样的感受，同样的精彩，这就是2023兰州马拉松的魅力。女士们、先生们，兰州银行杯2023兰州马拉松半程男子组颁奖仪式现在开始，让我们掌声有请获奖运动员和颁奖嘉宾现在入场。The World Half Marathon Ceremony of Men in Bangkok Lanzhou Cup 2023 Lanzhou Marathon will now begin. Let's welcome the honored guests and players. 第3名，张国富，来自中国，成绩1小时12分42秒，祝贺。The third prize winner is 张国富 from China. 第2名，张学康，来自中国，成绩1小时09分24秒，祝贺。The second prize winner is 张学康 from China. 第1名，梅戈萨贝克勒，来自埃塞俄比亚，成绩1小时08分28秒。The champion is Megasa Bekler from Ethiopia. 下面，请兰州市委常委、市委宣传部部长郑玉为获奖运动员颁发奖杯，欢迎。Now let's welcome Mrs. Zheng Yu to award the trophy for our winners. 下面有请兰州市体育局局长郭德涛为获奖运动员颁发奖牌，欢迎。Now let's welcome Mr. 郭德涛to award the medal for our winners. 下面有请兰州银行党委副书记、行长涂武金为获奖运动员颁发奖票和花环，欢迎。Now let's welcome Mr. 涂武金 to award the prize and flowers for our winners. 请颁奖嘉宾移步颁奖台两侧，与获奖运动员合影。让我们用热烈的掌声向获奖运动员表示祝贺。请颁奖嘉宾和获奖运动员移步台下休息，谢谢。女士们、先生们，兰州银行杯2023兰州马拉松半程女子组颁奖仪式现在开始，让我们掌声有请获奖运动员和颁奖嘉宾现 赛入场。The World Half Marathon Ceremony of Women in Bank of Lanzhou Cup 2023 Lan州马拉松 will now begin. Let's welcome the honored guests and players. 第3名，王巧霞，来自中国，成绩1小时20分55秒，祝贺。The third prize winner is Wang Qiaoxia from China. 第2名，李美珍，来自中国，成绩1小时18分56秒，祝贺。The second prize winner is Li Meizhen from China. 第1名，德拉图海鲁，来自埃塞俄比亚，成绩1小时16分45秒，祝贺。The champion is Deratu Halu from Ethiopia. 下面有请兰州市政府副市长杨格志为获奖运动员颁发奖杯，欢迎。Now let's welcome Mr. Yang Gezhi to award the trophy for our winners. 下面有请兰州市体育局副局长刘凤霞为获奖运动员颁发奖牌，欢迎。Now let's welcome Mrs. Liu Fengxia to award the medal for our winners. 下面有请兰州市政府副秘书长马敬礼为获奖运动员颁发奖票和花环，欢迎。Now let's welcome Mr. Ma Jingli to award the prize and flowers for our winners. 颁奖嘉宾移步颁奖台2侧，与获奖运动员合影。让我们用热烈的掌声向获奖运动员表示祝贺。好，请颁奖嘉宾和获奖运动员移步台下休息，谢谢。各位观众朋友们，让我们继续通过直播来关注比赛的近况，也通过我们的现场为运动员加油呐喊，来感受兰马赛场的魅力吧。在我们每个人的心里，都有着对黄河浓烈的热爱。黄河是中华民族的母亲河，是华夏文明的摇篮。千百年来，这条奔流不息的大河不仅养育着一代又一代的中华儿女，更将坚强不屈的民族精神融入到。
山桥很长，没有思念长。滨河路上唱歌的人，那在那他你？年少时的啤酒摊，是谁宿醉的早上？醒不了的黄河边，只有你和那月亮。九泉路飘。 乡，冰潭桥下看夕阳，证明路上浪两趟，买醪糟的味道还是一样难遗忘。你好，兰州，唱你的歌谣，那座桥下那条河流淌在心上。你好，兰州，画你的模样，那一碗牛肉面它伴在我身旁。